Yeah, this is a real exciting day for our franchise. I want to start by thanking our ownership for allowing us to spend their money and to be aggressive on guys like this. I also want to thank Parag Marate and his group. They've been outstanding here in the last couple of days, along with these guys, representatives coming to deals. And we went and found two guys from the same hometown, Anniston, Alabama, Kwon Alexander and Dee Ford, and they're gonna really bolster our team. We love everything they bring, the passion they play the game with. They're dynamic players, and we got better by signing these guys. We're thrilled to have them here, and unless Kyle has something to say, we'll start off with questions.
Good, man.
All right.
First thing for you, Kyle, having had the game plan against Kwon for a couple of years, what kind of dilemmas does he create for an offense?
He taught me a hard lesson that you better game plan for him because I didn't too well the first game of 2016. We started out 0-1 because of it, and I remember him having 20 tackles. I think he had maybe 16, 18.
Something like that.
It was bad. It was so bad that Julio asked me after the game if he could play fullback and block him. So I knew I needed a better plan the next time. And D, I mean, as always, just when you can turn on the tape and he scares you as a coach because you can see how fast he gets off the ball. Not all pass rushers, you can see that. But as soon as you press play, you can see it with D. So I'm glad I don't have to get freaked out watching that anymore.
Noticed you walked in without a limp. Where are you in your ACL recovery, and when do you expect to be practicing in full?
Man, I'm just taking it day by day. I just been grinding, working hard, and just pushing myself to get back. I'm just taking it day by day, just let it all work out for itself, and then I'll be back soon.
And Kyle, you guys may know you set an NFL record last year for fewest takeaways and fewest interceptions. And it seems both these guys are known for being able to, create turnovers. How big a deal was that going through your mind as you plotted some of your moves?
Yeah, of course. Thanks for reminding us of that. That wasn't fun to watch, but it is something we have to live with. It's a reality, and we needed to change that. And you're exactly right. These are the type of players that we believe can reverse that trend. Starting with Kwon, he's always had a propensity. He's always around the ball. There's so many things to like, but that is definitely something that jumps. And then, D, he has a knack for getting the ball out. I think eight forced fumbles last year, and as Kyle said, that first step is lethal, and we think that can help our entire team, and get that virus going where we're taking away the ball on a regular basis.
Speed and violence affect the quarterback and make people do stupid things before they want to, and both of these guys have a lot of speed, and they both play very violent.
Definitely.
Both D and Kwon, growing up in the hometown, did you guys know each other? What did you know about each other, and what was the reputation of the other guy? So if you
We actually just met.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just met.
You went out before me, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to St. Clair my ninth grade year, in the middle of my ninth grade year. He wasn't in high school yet, so we just met.
Yeah.
Did you know anything about him?
Nah, I didn't. And honestly, I was so engulfed in what I was doing, so nah, I didn't. I mean, I knew who he was, once we went to the NFL, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, I remember seeing Dee Ford at Auburn. 'Cause I used to go to, take trips and stuff like that at Auburn. I just knew he was a great player. And I'm just happy to play with him now, especially coming from the same city. Yeah.
What do you attribute your play level last year, right? You played at a higher level than you had in the past. What was different last year for you?
Consistency. That's maturity with your game. I mean, that's what you want to see. That's why we work at the end of the day. And being healthy was huge for me, too. I actually started that in 17, but I just didn't come out of training camp healthy. So it was good to be, it was a continuation of that. So.
What do you remember from facing the 49ers last year? You had a sack on Jimmy, and that game obviously didn't go the way this franchise wanted, the way Jimmy finished it. But what do you remember about that game?
Going against Joe, man. Joe is great. It was a great battle. It was a fun battle. It was a great team. It was close. It was a very close game. So, one of our toughest games of the season last year.
Do you like the role that the 49ers have envisioned for you, and what have they said about what that role is and how it kind of fits what you do best?
Can I tell? My role is to go that way. Nothing else.
All gas, no brakes.
Right. Right. Very simple, man. Very simple.
And that way it's towards the quarterback.
You've talked in the past about, you guys getting tagged and missing out on those guys that never make it to market. Can you just take us through kind of how this developed, where you're able to get your hands on one of those guys?
Yeah, so this process is ongoing. You're always studying the players. Rand Carthon's back there, his staff, they're always looking around the league. You don't have to look hard to see a guy like Dee. He stands out. As Kyle said, he jumps off the film. As we started to evaluate different things, you study all players and you look at the guys who might get tagged as well. And there was a lot to like about him. We really thought it was a great fit. We had some conversations with the Chiefs, and as those progressed, it became more of a likelihood. And, the cool thing with that is that with both these guys, we do a lot of collaboration around here between, our personnel staff and our coaching staff. And I would tell you that in both these instances, these were our guys. And so we had complete consensus on that. And so it's, that's a great feeling when you can land the guys that you had consensus from all aspects on. And, it's the case. And we're thankful for the Chiefs for working with us on it. And we got a great player and a couple great players here.
And John, why was Kwon your first choice? Because, a lot of people were saying C.J. Mosley was the best inside linebacker. And Kwon obviously is coming off a, significant injury. What was the thought process on that?
There were a lot of good linebackers out there this year. Kwon, I think I've long admired. I believe certain players bring out the best in their teammates with the way they play. There's a certain passion for the game that screams, even when you're watching film, that's silent. You can just see it jump through, and he plays with his hair on fire. I think that kind of play is contagious, and we needed that. He's also extremely productive, and I think I saw it, and Kyle saw it, and our staff saw it, and we just said it really just kept growing and growing to, hey, this is a guy we want here, and we sure are happy to have him.
Kwon and you both spoke briefly about your roles on the field. What about in the locker room with a lot of younger guys who are just getting into the league? You guys step up as leaders as well?
Oh, most definitely. We're gonna try to make sure those guys, on point, studying film, have that same mindset to be great. I'm gonna tell them whatever it takes, whatever it takes, you can do it. Put your mind to it. We're gonna go out here and get the job done, win championships, and we're gonna do our thing.
Kyle, it seems like these days there are alternating point of views in terms of building your defense back to front or front to back. You guys are obviously making a big investment up front. Going against defenses, do you feel like it's more difficult to go against defenses that are built that way, built strong up front, rather than, players in the second, elite players in the secondary, things like that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you can't block people to play, it's tough to pull off, whether people are getting open or not. You can help people at times get open versus better players and stuff, but it's very tough to help people block guys all day.
John, does getting specifically adjust the way you look at the number overall pick? Do you have a less pressing need at that specific pass rushing need, or do you just say, hey, whoever's the best guy there?
Yeah, I think, we're evaluating everyone. Having Dee just makes us a better football team, and the draft's something separate. But yes, those two do interact at some point. But, we'll see. We're going to go out there and look at number two. You want to have a great football player, and that's what we're looking for. And we'll see where that ends up.
For both of you guys, this is the first time you've had a new beginning in the NFL. And so what are the emotions? What are the feelings right now, and specifically coming to San Francisco?
I'm looking forward to it. A fresh start for anybody is healthy. That's how you have to look at it. I'm really excited to meet new teammates, and just understanding that this team specifically was a couple players away from being a really good team. So understanding that my role is important, I'm accepting the challenge and I'm excited. So it's great for me.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I just love the energy since I've been here. It's just been amazing. The coaches, just everybody around the building, it's just been amazing. I can't wait to meet the teammates, like Dee said, and just get it going, man. It's time.
John, last time we were all in here together, we talked a lot about injuries, the injury issue from the past couple of years. You said it was something you really wanted to look into hard and something that needed to change. After looking into it, what'd you find? And given what you said, why did you make a large investment in a player coming off a torn ACL?
No, it's a fair question, and I think we looked hard at it. We've adjusted our staff accordingly. We've announced some of those moves, some more to come. So we've really tried to look at our structure and how we can best care for our players and give them every opportunity to stay healthy. Having said that, injuries happen, and when you get to free agency, you're looking for players that are going to make your team better. The good news, with a guy like Kwon is, he has an ACL. Those things get better, and he's putting in the work. We had a physical that was very thorough, and our doctors came out feeling good about it, and that excited us even more, because then we got to the point where we were signing a contract with his parents, Peaches and Broad FaceTime, and it was fun. But Grant, that's just we thought these guys were great players. We vetted it thoroughly, and we felt comfortable with it.
John and Kyle, Dee mentioned he kind of came into his own last year. Before that, there was inconsistency. You made a significant investment in terms of a draft pick and money. What gives you, I guess, the confidence that last year wasn't just a blip, but the sign of things to come?
Well, I think you look back to 2016. You had double-digit sacks as well, and then So, I think
film, baby, film.
Gotta laugh there. But at the same point, that I love an ascending player, and I think I think it's a fair characterization that last year was his best year, and we think the arrow's up. We think it's only getting better.
This was for John. Along those lines, I know there's long been speculation that you guys were going to add an elite edge rusher. Didn't happen last year. Is Dee a guy that was already on your radar last year, or did that 2018 season kind of just make him blow up on the radar?
No, we've been coveting. I mean, you follow players throughout their career, and he's a guy we've had an eye on for a while, and this year it became a reality, and we're thrilled about that.
And the production and numbers don't always mean that's the first time you started playing well. I mean, I don't even know how many exact sacks he had last year, because I just turn on the tape and watch whether they're good or not. And he's been very good for a while, whether he's getting the sacks or not. He's extremely hard to block. He's been that way always. That's why he was a first-round pick out of college too. So hopefully you keep getting the same numbers and it keeps going up. But regardless of that, we have a very good player, and there's not many people better at getting after the quarterback.
Yeah, after the AFC Championship game, you were pretty accountable for the offside penalty and talked about that. Did that weigh on you these last couple months as you reflect on it?
No.
Were you offsides?
I was.
For sure.
Look, it happens, man. It's unlucky play. Would I take it back? Of course, anybody would. It was devastating, but like I said, when I first did the interview, I gave myself 2 days to pout about it, and I'm over it,
Considering the season you had, were you disappointed that the Chiefs didn't want to make a long-term commitment to you?
No, it's the business. This is a business at the end of the day. They had to do what they needed to do, and that's why Andy's great. He has to do what's best for the team. This is a business at the end of the day. So, as players, we don't get caught into that. And so we look at the challenge that's ahead. This is my new challenge, and I'm excited. I think you can hear we're all excited, and we're moving on.
Do you consider Dee a defensive end, and does that matter?
We do. That's what we see him as, and I guess it matters only we got to put him in the program as something. But I know he's a difference maker. We've been looking for a closer, someone who can close halves, close games, get off the field on third down, and I think collectively now I know I saw big smiles on all our inside rushers because they know what an edge guy can do for the group collectively. Now we've got to go do it. We've got some very talented players. Now we've got to go collectively do that. But we think we really improved our chances of being effective in those aspects of the game with the addition of Dee.
Is that a Leo or?
Yeah, he fits the Leo mold perfectly.
Do you have a hesitation on stop-start, pass rush move?
Do I? Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
You've been doing it all your career. It's all been great.
Last year especially.
Exactly. Was there an influence, or did you pick that up from someone or somewhere, and do you have a name for it?
I don't have a name. Honestly, it's instinctive. To be honest with you, the moves that I work, 3 moves, and sometimes those are just variations of the same move, and it's really all feel. I don't do that move a ton. It's just really a counter at the end of the day, and it's instinctive at the end of the day. So I have my 3 main moves, and if I feel like where the tackle's position is, it's always going to be instinctive. So that's just me sort of going off what he's giving me at that time.
Don't give him any more than that.
John, obviously, the first couple of days are always pretty hectic. There was another fairly high-profile trade going on as you mentioned. Can you just take us through what the last, 4 or 5 hours were that day?
Their free agency is always crazy. There's a lot of phone calls. Myself, Kyle, and Prague, in addition to the rest of our staff, have been, on the phones working a lot of different things. But, this is about these guys, and we're going to focus on that today.
John, at the combine, you mentioned the defense using some wide 9 alignments. Is that going to be the new base alignment next year, or just something you do in passing situations, or is that a scheme question?
Kyle, you want to take that?
Sure. We mix up. We did a lot of wide 9s last year. Every team in the league does. A 3-4 linebacker, as he played in his old scheme, is a 9 technique. I'd see us using a little bit more this year, but we'll see how that plays out. You always got to adjust when things work and when things don't work.
He is the Leo. What does that mean for Solomon Thomas and where he'll play? Does that mean he'll be exclusively at defensive tackle?
No, similar plans as last year. We love Solly outside more in rundowns, and in passing situations, we want him inside.
Are you guys signing Jason Barrett?
We'd like to get out of here and find out.
You gotta believe that. Matt, you got something?
Well, no, can you confirm that?
We can't because we're in here. Honestly, we hope so. And
Where's Prague?
We're working on it. We know he's in the building. But as I can promise, some of the stuff I've seen over the last 2 days, you can't believe everything that gets tweeted out right away.
How much do you anticipate these additions helping the secondary?
Well, I know in my career, I learned the tough way that, in Tampa, 3 Mississippi was a lot easier than the 5 Mississippi I grew to know in Denver. And that's no disrespect to the guys that I played with in Denver. It's just we had something special. It makes everybody better. And, I think that's always been true in football, and that holds true today.
Robert Saleh is a linebackers coach at heart. He obviously covets speed. Have you interacted with him, and what kind of fit do you think you'll be with him?
No, I really been just talking to D'Amico Ryan, so I just been talking to him, man. I'm just here to play, man. Whatever they want to put me at, I'm gonna work my hardest and just do whatever I can to get wins under our belt.
What's your impression been of D'Amico so far?
He's great. He's a great player. I was watching him when he was when he was at college at Alabama. So it was great. It was great to learn from him. I can't wait to pick his mind. And he's gonna help me a lot.
Kyle, do you know who's going to wear the green dot next year on defense?
I don't know yet.
What will determine that?
Probably how they both feel, getting to know them more. Not that it's that big a deal, because they didn't think it's the exact same position, just one talks more and calls the play, which is really long, cover 3.
With Tevin Coleman signing, reflect anything on where Jarek McKinnon is?
No, not at all. I mean, we were fortunate, very fortunate to have a chance to get Tevin. Didn't really think that at all, that there would be possibility going through, but it ended up working out. And I've never, going into this, I've never had where I'd say at least 4 backs right now who played at a high level last year. But it's, I don't consider it a problem. I consider it a very good thing. There's a lot of guys we have confidence in, and a lot of guys with some different skill sets too that we can use differently.
Can you have 4 backs in uniform on game day?
I haven't before, but you can do anything you want. But you got to make sense of it all. And I think we're in a situation right now, just looking at our roster, that I think it could make a lot of sense this year.
Kwon, do you know him? I mean, you played against Coleman a lot. Do you have kind of a scouting report on him?
Oh, I got a scout report. I had to play him twice a year, so yeah, I know he's a great player. He's great and he can catch the ball, run, make great cuts, got great vision, you know, very fast too. So he's gonna be a great addition to this team.
Does adding Coleman decrease the urgency to get McKinnon back in training camp? Is he maybe a pup candidate now?
I don't think so. I mean, you're not gonna, when guys are coming off ACLs and stuff, you're not gonna rush them back just because you need them. I mean, or you're gonna lose them a lot longer. So you got to be patient regardless of the situation. Not just having Tevin, but I mean, all the guys we played with last year makes us feel that we can be patient and be smart. Regardless, you don't have a choice. You have to always be patient and smart. But the more guys you have, the easier it is.
Either Kwon or Dee, any guys on the current roster that you talked about before coming here, like, hey, what are these guys like? Anyone that you guys talked to or consulted?
Nah, I ain't talking to anybody. I knew a couple players here that had played here already. You know, I just asked those guys, you know, what they like about it, and they said it's a great place and everything's fun. You know, coaches are amazing. So, you know, I had to ask everything because I'm trying to figure out everything where I'm going, trying to make sure everything on point. So, yeah, they gave me great information, and I'm happy to be here now and very excited.
Who did you talk to?
I talked to Rashard. He's in Jets. He at the Jets now. And Lewis Murphy. Talked to those guys. Because Lewis was with me in Tampa Bay, so I'm really close with him. So he gave me some great information.
Hey, just throwing it out for either one of you guys, Anniston, Alabama. Isn't that the hometown of Eric Davis? Eric Davis, former defensive back from the 49ers.
What year was this?
He was number 25. It was a good quarterback.
My fault, but I don't know.
I don't know either. Sorry about
I apologize.
All right, generation question then.
Yeah, generation.
Anything else?
What are your...
Regarding,
Yep. Go ahead.
no, I appreciate it. Regarding Barrett, who you apparently might have on the team, do you view him outside or a slot corner?
Well, you know, the nice thing with Jace, he can do both. And we'll see where that goes. And I'm really excited to get out of here. As much fun as I'm having
Say
talking
it,
about these
John.
things.
We'd love to comment on that, but if that's not true, we're commenting on a guy that's not on our team. I don't think we can do that yet.
It's also, it's also been reported you guys are bringing back Antoine Exum.
That would be great also. That's the goal. I hope so.
What went into the decision process to potentially bring him back along with Jimmy Ward rather than dip into the free agent market?
Well, I mean, they were free agents, so you do have to pay to bring them back. And it's also that we know the guys. Exum did a heck of a job last year stepping in, playing a position he hadn't played before. Really stepped it up. He got an opportunity because of the injuries and got better each game. Jimmy Ward has played at an extremely high level throughout his career when he's been healthy. We all know he has struggled to stay healthy, which is nothing about, it's been unfortunate for him. He plays very hard, he's very talented, and that's why it's been very hard for him to go out there and get really what he deserves as a player. But to have Jimmy back here with the talent he has, and if he can stay healthy, and we're going to give him every chance to, we know we got as good of a safety as we can get.
Where do things stand at punter, and do you guys need to have a punter that also handles kickoffs, or is that just a luxury that you had the last few years?
It's a good luxury. I think it helps all kickers. You know, you'd always rather have that. So if you can get that, it's a bonus. Robbie definitely can still kick off. He definitely tells me that a lot, that he can still do it. But it's always nicer to take that off of him. So we would always love to find that. But if you don't, you don't. And we got a guy who can kick off and kick field goals.
Two more, please.
Are you looking for a free agent at that position? Is the draft an option at that spot?
No, all of them are options. We will have a punter, though, when we start. Unless one of these guys can do it.
Trade for a punter?
What?
Trade for a punter?
Everything is an option. I think those are the only three.